this is Nitika Duggal, and today we have come with an amazing, very important topic for all the UPSC aspirants for science and technology. For that, let me ask you something. What comes in your mind when I say ashwagandha or giloy or maybe ginger? In fact, something that I'm sure you're using every day, turmeric. What do you think of when I say all of these plants? Do you think of food or do you think of medicine? Well, that's the power of plants. Plants, when we are using it for medicinal purposes, become extra important for us. And we have a name for them. Well, we can call them Nutraceuticals. You get it right? Naturo for the plants, ceuticals from the pharmaceutical. So all the plants which have the pharmaceutical uses can be called as Nutraceuticals. Let me tell you, this is gaining momentum. This particular topic, this particular field is having huge boom because people have an inclination for natural treatment nowadays. Hence, I have come with an article of The Hindu published on 29th October 2024, which beautifully talks about Nutraceuticals. So it talks about the medicinal foods, a category that is missing from the regulator's plate. Well, this article has picked up on many issues that you as a UPSC aspirant need to know for sure. For example, like I just said, turmeric. Turmeric we are using every day. But how much dose of turmeric is therapeutic for us? Any dose or a particular dose? Now, when the research is done on curcumin, which is the active ingredient of turmeric, there's a specific quantity that we are taking. But when we are talking about the traditional use, we do not have, a particular dosage by which there is going to be the therapeutic effect of the turmeric. So there is very, very important key point that we can learn from this article, which is this. Although centuries of traditional use provide empirical support for the use of plants as medicine, many and their derivatives can be found in the market today in new combinations, recipes and applications that are far removed from their classical use. Now think of this. When I'm talking about neem, I'm sure you've heard of neem, right? So when I say neem, am I talking about the tablets of neem or am I talking about neem coming from exactly the leaves of the neem tree? Well, this is exactly the dichotomy that needs to be addressed. On the name of traditional use and on the name of medicinal use, we are still not clear with how much dosage, in what form, in what quantity should we have a particular food which is a medicine. So this article also talks about a very important aspect. Like I just mentioned, curcumin, which is the active ingredient, we can extract those active ingredients, right? For example, if we are talking about ashwagandha, if we are talking about giloy, they have their respective active ingredients, right? So, are we extracting it and using it in the form of tablets? Will that be okay? In fact, the researches needs to be done, and let me tell you, we have very, very little researchers right now in the field of Nutraceuticals, and that's why I said it's a booming field. So there is a discord and there is a conflict. There's then this analysis which were done. So let me tell you, recently there was this study which was done, which was funded by British Commission, and it figured out some 8,000 species which were written in some 11 references as medicines. Out of that, 1,800 were both food as well as medicine. But there is a very thin line between food and medicine. Like I said, what dosage, what quantity, from what extract that we are taking out, everything needs to be properly written down, and hence there is a huge need of research in this particular realm. There is also an acute problem regarding the name. You would see that lemon in different countries might be seen with different names. In fact, there's scientific name. Like we know that there should be a nomenclature to everything. You have the nomenclature for elements in chemistry as well, in biology as well. For example, if I talk about tiger, it is Panthera tigris. Similarly, we humans, Homo sapiens. So Homo genus sapiens, the species, right? So there is a nomenclature. But there's a problem. The problem is nomenclature for these medicines which are per se plants, that's haywire. We do not have proper names, like for example for lemon, it might have different biological nomenclature and can be referred with different names in different research articles, making it different to understand and study the properties and to know the properties. For example, I'm sure you've heard of marijuana, the weed, that's called Vijaya. Now, to be aware that, okay, if we are talking about Vijaya leaves, or how colloquially we call it bhang, do we know that, okay, Ayurveda talks about the particular usage of these leaves in the form of Vijaya? So, the names needs to have a sync across the world, so that the active ingredients can be known with a lot of clarity. For example, we can read from here that for Giloy and Ashwagandha, looking at these names might be very confusing and might be different in different countries. So there has to be a collaboration. Now, in India, we do not have intellectual property rights on the plants. We use turmeric, ginger, Giloy, Ashwagandha, and so on forth with the traditional knowledge. The traditional knowledge is different from intellectual property. Now, this is in itself a huge topic of discussion, which we can pick up some other time. You can let me know in the comments if you're interested in knowing the difference between the two. I have minutely picked on the differences, but I'm not going to go into these two differences, but I'm going to talk about just a broad aspect of traditional knowledge. Traditional knowledge is being used by the community. A single person cannot hold command on, okay, this is my right, this is my innovation, this is my invention. One single person can't claim this is my invention, but with intellectual property, you can claim this is my invention. A group can claim this is my invention. An organization can claim this is my invention. But with traditional knowledge, it's a community and it is transmitted orally. So how would you do that? In fact, USA was trying to get patented the curcumin, the active ingredient of turmeric, saying that we invented it. But we Indians have been using it since time immemorial as traditional knowledge. So traditional knowledge in a way is an intellectual property for us, but there has to be a lot of work done. Yes, the two regulators, one for the food and one for the medicine, needs to come together and hold hands. I'm talking about Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, FSSAI, and I'm talking about Central Drug Standard Control Organization, CDSCO. The one which is regulating food, the other one which is licensing drugs, needs to come together so that this entire booming field of Nutraceuticals can actually reach masses, not just for healthy living, not just for a great opportunity of employment, because if there is a worldwide demand for different pharmaceutical natural items like Ashwagandha, Giloy, which is what we obviously saw in COVID time as well, that people were becoming aware of all these herbal medicines, natural medicines, and using it as a first alternative as compared to the allopathic medicines. So this is not just going to increase our inclination for a better living, healthy living, reducing our cost of healthcare. If a proper study has been established on this regard, not just it is going to increase and boom the employment, but this is also going to help Indian economy something that you as a UPSC aspirant certainly needs to be aware of. So I'm sure this article has brought an insight. Let me know how you found the content. With this is me, Nitika, signing off. See you very soon.